There we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Frankie on the stream. LNR Tuesday night Simracing. Here we go again. This evening's going to be quite entertaining, to say the least. So I hope you all have your seatbelts on, because I reckon it's going to be absolutely epic. Boys are busy finishing their practice session at the present time. Currently looking at Mr. Humphreys here in his, I would say, very purplish pink Lamborghini. Don't quote me on the color scheme there, because I'm either getting blind or I'm absolutely awful with naming colors. So he's doing a few final preparations before the race starts. This evening in general, we're not going to start off with a qualifying session. To my knowledge and to the entertainment of the LNR admins that brought this upon the racers, we are going to do a reverse grid for everyone that for everyone. No qualifying, reverse grid based on finishing positions from the previous race. Now that's going to be quite detrimental to those that did phenomenally well last week at the Kyalami track, purely because of two things. One, you'll have a slower car ahead of you. Two, you got to navigate through the traffic, and then of course three, it's just going to be absolutely chaos. I mean, Nürburgring, who in their right mind would think that that is such a good idea? As we jump into, we would say, the grid session. So these boys have got about 2 minutes of preparation time to set their cars up for a 20-degree ambient temperature, followed by 26-degree track temperature. Now I don't see any forecast of rain, at least based on what we have identified as an optimum track. So it's been fairly well rubbered in. As you can see, some of the spots here by the grids are half empty, and I reckon that's only because there's been a few individuals that really hasn't pitched up this evening. So last week we had a good big grid of about 40 plus individuals. This week does look like we're sitting at around about the 35 margin in general. Now, of course, a lot of things can come to play here in South African terms when it comes to sim racing and actually participating in the hobbies of racing itself. So I reckon we're going to see how this evolves. On stream I did say welcome to Frank, then of course Henry Meyer there saying good luck all Fleming for the win. I do hope so. That's a big shout out. I'm not going to ask who that is at the present moment, but I can assure you is that the grid is very reverse. These boys are going to do their warm-up lap now. Again, no qualifying session at all. Reverse starting grid based on last race results. Top of the log in the table at the present stage is Dupree, Herzog, Essop, Wolford, Beker, Sebata, Steenkamp, Heineke, Bouton, Hall, Luck, Young, Bullion, Van Sail, Greedy, Bullion, Mooney, Vanneberg, Robson, and Loredo. Those are your top 20. I reckon it's a very strange grid to see that. For those that watched a lot of sim racing in South Africa, these are not your regular top 10 individuals. I might say that, and I might be taken to the cleaners for that. Again, there is a few of these individuals that have got top pays. I reckon just last week's race wasn't ideal circumstances for certain individuals, but nonetheless, this is where we sit. 35 team grid positions, a couple of Ferraris all around here, Aston Martins on the grids. I don't see any Lambos this evening. Apart from, it is my favorite man that I did see, Mr. Revelation here, that will run his Lamborghini. So one Lambo on the track this week. Rest of the grids is a combination of Ferrari, Astons and Porsches. And of course Humphreys also running a Lamborghini. So 2 Lamborghinis this week. See, I've missed one. That's detrimental. How can I shame the Lamborghinis that badly? That good looks quite exciting. As I said before at the start of the stream, this is going to be a daunting task for those individuals at the back. I'm going to look at the boys like Jacques Vermeulen here, Gary van der Haar, Paul Venter, Strydom, Vincent Nall, who was the winner last week at Kyalami. He sits all the way in 30th position. I don't think this is the position that he is quite comfortable with, nor have I ever seen him that far back in the grid. Neither this man over here with his Lamborghini, Ferrari here, Marlboro livery make in general. That looks so sexy though. Is there something about that Marlboro livery that just brings legendary status? That's sort of what it is. That is gorgeous. No choice about it. I'm just gonna let it sit there and take a sip and enjoy the view for the meantime. As these boys start boxing up, so this is where it's gonna get jam-packed. My fear is corner 1 though, followed thereafter by 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 Hertz-X there. Car. I'm gonna take a better look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Eye-catching from a helicopter view point of view. Hertz-X, if you rewatch the stream, I'm gonna give it out there. That is a sexy lift. Out of everyone I've seen, and that is eye-catching. That is beautiful. Okay, these boys are waiting for the green light. We're gonna come around the corner now. Off we are, racing it is. This is gonna get detrimental and epic. I'm gonna look at it from a top spectator point of view. These boys are coming down into corner 1. Corner 1 is where all the chaos can occur. Already 1 or 2 incidents there. I think I've got all my deltas on. But the boys have definitely made a bit of contact there, and there's more cars going off the track as you see them filtering back. And that's Andries de Prier there. No, it's not. He's still ahead of the race. Back at the pack looks still good. Somehow filtered very nicely. Still a few incidents here and there. Guys going side by side through the toughest part of the track. Again, I'm not saying it's not doable, but it is certainly a challenge. To the lead of the race, we have the Duprier getting a bit of a gap between himself and Wilford, who is running the Mercedes-Benz. These boys look quite comfortable there. Essop behind them. Hall had a fantastic start there. Now I reckon this is one of the best potentials for this man to bring it home completely. Big supporter of this oak. He always gives an A+ game for racing. Races hard, finishes hard, irrespective of the conditions. Always wants to ensure that what he learns on track he can apply the next time. Grows as he does race by race. Ooh, Mercedes off the track. That looks like an incident between a BMW and a Mercedes. That BMW just slowed absolutely all the way down. That puts him all up into square. Another contact there by Bierkes. Bierkes just all over the show. Doesn't seem like he's quite comfortable. That is a hurt BMW. He's being chased down by everyone behind him. I reckon this is where you just need to... Oh, more contact there with an Aston Martin. Nel Bullion got rear-ended. That's gonna give him a bit of a thumper. Does try and come back. Stops to avoid further contact with other individuals. Boys in the pit stop. So again, some of these boys are playing it clever. They have to do mandatory 2 pit stops. Pit window is open for a long period of time, so they can do whatever they need to do for 55 minutes of racing. I reckon that is probably the best choice that they make. Get into the pits quickly, get that job done, get out there with clear track, run with it instead of fighting all the way to the boys to the front. If you're that far back at the grid, just hold back, go to the pits, get one off the nail, and then get onto track with a bit of clear focus and determination. So let's just see. I did see boys like Paul Venter that did their pit stop. Wolfenter out in the clear. Again, way back in the grid, so did Mooney with his Speed Juice livery. At long last, I see a Speed Juice livery. Gotta admit, that matte black, green and red just looks absolutely fantastic on the Porsche. My preference on the other hand was put a bit of white mag on it just so that we can see it. But I know as racing boys, we do love the black mags just because it screams, I want to race. Going back to the front of the grid, Laredo here in 4th place. He is being chased down by Jason Luck. I recognize Jason Luck. Yes, Jason Luck it is. In his Porsche, he's already in 5th place, hunting down S. Laredo. Dylan Hall is there in 2nd place, 3 seconds adrift from Huntley A. Dupree. Beekers, on the other hand, who was involved in quite a few incidents in the start. You can see that BMW is a bit hurt. Left, right, middle and center. Still a lot of work for him to do. Started at the front of the grid. A. Wilson and his Aston Martin is being hunted down by Assetto in BMW car number 17. Again, early days of the race. We're only 6 minutes into it. Again, plenty of action all around the grid. I'm going to honestly do my best to cover every guy, every driver as best as I can. As they progress, Stradom on the other hand making a move there on Beekers. Now that looked quite easily from my perspective. He is one of the boys that started at the back that hasn't really gone into the pit. So his strategy is quite different. More incidents here with Van Beek and Jacques Vermeulen. These two boys came into contact with each other. You can see that Jacques Vermeulen immediately yielded. Gal van der Berg going on the inside line with the Porsche. This is a side by side. No, he tends to just hold back a bit. Clever thought there. 2 cars through the S's is not ideal, but that does place him in a tricky position because Findlay there and his Aston Martin from WVXR, sorry, still chasing him down, takes the inside line into corner 1. They give each other enough space for that. Both boys very cautious. Van der Berg still has the better track position. He's going to manage to maintain that as he goes forth. Back to the front, Laredo and Mooney. Now this is C. Mooney, so the Laredo, tongue twister there, managed to catch up onto the 3rd place position guy, so a few positions from him. Flip Van Zyl on the other hand, also having a fantastic race on his end. He's right on the tail end there by Sean Stradom, catching the boys ahead of him. So that was Sean Stradom making a move on A. Wilson. Wilson deciding not to go too defensive on that. But again, he knows who he can challenge and who he can race with. But I don't think he's going to be that friendly with Van Zyl. Might be a bit of an elbows out scenario, just because I think Wilson might believe that he has the same speed and pace as well as skill set as Van Zyl from the LTR Chic boys. And Gal van der Berg back in the mix over there. Van der Haar also here in 16th place. He's trying to stay adrift with Steenkamp. Steenkamp on the other hand, also driving the Ferrari. Bit of a slow exit there. That's going to allow Van der Haar to capitalize that on the inside line as they go too wide, makes contact with each other. I think that is just a bit of a misjudgment between both individuals. Van der Haar instantly just decides, I'm going to go to the pits. Thank you for that. It's not going to be worth it though. Herceg, on the other hand, the man that started in second place, has faltered all the way back to 19th. That is with Van der Haar in the pits. Armuni, who has had his pit stop done, got a bit of traffic ahead of him, so he's fighting with Sabata from Pace Motorsport. Simracing Masterclass versus Pace Motorsport. Got an LNR boy there behind him that does look like he's got the legs to come down the straight. Sabata doesn't really go defensive though, opens the door for him, takes the position, well respect between these two drivers. That on the other hand puts Dave Young right on the rear end of Sabata. Now these boys have got a bit of history, and when I say history, it's not bad blood history, it is just sim racing console time when we all used to race with each other. I don't think this is going to be an easy maneuver for Dave Young. Jacques Vermeulen already getting a stop-go 30-second penalty. That's going to deter his race completely. Robson, on the other hand, also a man that's done his pit stop, sitting there in 32nd position. So, back to the front of the race. Laredo currently the man on pace. He has set the fastest lap so far with a 1:56.072. Quickest first sector. Not the quickest second or third, but he's put it up there as Stradom just punishes him with a 1:55.790 best lap condition for race scenario. So Stradom on the hunt. Still looking for a few boys. Now the man that won last week's race, he has done his pit stop. He is in 27th position. He's got a lot of work to do at the moment because everyone in front of him, from Paul Fender to Mooning to Greening to Sabata to Young to LaRue to has pitted. So that is a bit of a time to make up. Going to be very hard for him to capitalize on a victory if he is that far behind. Still big battle here in the rear end of the track. I'm going to go a bit to the front because this seems to be where the action is at the present moment. So Dupria, current race leader from the start. He has got Paul, LTR boy, right behind him. Managed to do quite good. Like this is an evening where I really feel that Dylan Hall can take a podium. He's got the speed, he's got the pace. He's certainly on point this evening. Oh, as Dupria makes a big mistake, that's going to open up the door for Hall. Hall's going to take the lead from him. I don't think Dupria would want to give that away that easily as they go exiting out of the corner too wide. It's a straight battle to the first corner. Dupria might try and do an undercut, and he does so, but the racing line lies with Hall. That makes Dupria just yield a bit, but then puts Lerlero on his back end. So we have got two LTR boys fighting for first and second position, showing big guns and kahunas this evening. Brilliant move by the Ferraris in one lap. Slight error there by Dupria, and the two Ferraris have capitalized it. 2 positions dropped there by Dupria. Now he's going to fight back. You can see he's not going to let it go. Laredo goes defensive though. Does look like that Aston got a lot of legs though. Compared to the Ferrari, significant amount of legs. Not making it easy for Dupria. Probably giving a bit of frustration there because he reckons he has the speed to do it, but not being in a position to find the location to make a move. That's what Nürburgring does. You need to plan and stick to your plan to try and capitalize on. In all fairness, it's just one of the most difficult tracks. Apart from Suzuka, I reckon. Suzuka is another one of those where making maneuvers during the race or at any given point is just so hard. So that's Dupria going into the pit. I think that's probably a very good, smart move by him. Could have felt like he's being held up by the boys in front of them, even though he was the individual that made that slight error of judgment through that aces. Luck, on the other hand, has got Stradom on his rear end. Now Stradom no longer the fastest man on the grid, because that has been taken over by R. Mooney from Simracing Masterclass, who is on the hunt at the moment. He's got C. Mooney ahead of him, also with the Porsche. That looks like an inside dive. He is going to take that position. Both Mooney's giving each other enough room. Position's not yet won. Pushes other Mooney outside. Mooney goes back in again. Ooh, slight contact between these two. That's a bit of a misjudgment in between each individual. Nonetheless, no one really went off track. Bit of a fender bender is what I call it. Assetto, on the other hand, big mistake by him. I don't know what has happened. But he is in the mix. So, back to the front of the race, where we have Luck and Stradom battling it out for the podium spot or third place position. All three boys, all four boys, five boys, all five gentlemen. I should stop calling them boys, and I apologize. I can't believe I'm calling everyone boys. All gentlemen, all drivers at the moment in the top 5, top 10 has not pitted at all. So still got 2 pit stops to do. This is a different strategy for everyone. Again, pit window will remain open for most of the race. It's all about when you choose to do so. As you can see, some of the boys at the back of the end has done their pit stops. Priya, the man that did lead the race off via charge, currently in 19th position, so he's done his pit stop. It does look like he filtered in between a few battles, so he's got Steenkamp ahead of him, Lee Bullion behind him, and not far off him is Paul Venter. Now, of course, Paul Venter started way at the back of the grid, running a very yellow slash touch of orange and black livery there for the LNR boys. Looking quite fine. Back to the front of the race, Dylan Hall, the man, the legend, the bulldog. 2 LTR Chic boys currently leading the race with their Ferraris. I reckon this is one for the books. I have to be honest, this is really one for the books. Dylan has came this evening and he is setting the benchmark. Everyone chasing him down, including Sean Stradom, who I believe has gone into the pits because he is, oh no, he's still there, still behind Luck, unable to make any passing maneuvers on Jason Luck in the Porsche. Howard, on the other hand, driving with a LNR Ferrari livery. He is hunting down Findlay and he's Aston Martin. Of course, this is for 6th position. 36 minutes of racing still to go, so plenty of work that needs to be done. It does look like that Ferrari has had a few fender benders here and there. Not as smooth as what it would have started off with. Nonetheless, he is working his magic. Must admit, looking quite smooth in that Ferrari. Van der Berg, Pace Motorsport, in 9th position. That's not fun. So who is behind that man? There's an Aston Martin and that's 101. Paul van der Berg. He is sandwiched in between. It looks like 55. Because this is definitely not a race at the moment. Priya, on the other hand, he is trying to hunt down. No, he was. He did try to stay ahead of R. Mooney. Mooney, on the other hand, has made a move on him. So did Paul Venter. So Priya, who started the beginning of the race, again being fumbled there through the S's. He just seems to miss his brake marker this evening. Every time he hits that, he's lost way too many positions just because of that. Paul Venter, on the other hand, I reckon that man knows that he's got a hungry Porsche chasing him down. Ooh, Mooney going very, very deep. But unexpected there, BMW gets out of the way of Mooney, opens the door up for him so that he can go and have a fight. And that fight is certainly going to happen soon. Here in the front row, we still have Findlay and Bauer. Findlay seems to be the man in all types of battles. And every time, I reckon Findlay and Bauer fought and had battles last week in Carolina, so these two are not strangers to one another. Second race again and they meet. And Ferrari does look like it's got the pace in Sector 2. Not so much in Sector 1. Nonetheless, things are heating up at the front of the grid. Laredo has passed Hall. Hall has gone one position down. Of course, Hall is still doing a phenomenal job at the moment, but he is got two more individuals behind him. That's Laredo we're looking at. This is Hall. And then, of course, we have Lark. Stradom went into the pit, so Stradom backed out, decided to go do his first pit stop. It'll be interesting to see where he filters out. Again, it's going to be here somewhere with the Mooney Paul Venter shenanigans. This is quite close between these boys. Mooney does seem to have the drive. Aston Martin does seem to have the legs. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. That is a phenomenal drive there by Mooney. Gets the exit, gets it done. Job done. Another position made. Where did Stradom come out? Stradom, on the other hand, is already out. So Stradom didn't filter ahead of them. He's got quite a gap between himself and Mooney, so that is not too bad. Not too bad at all. In all fairness. Fair play. Who's on the stream? Hannes van der Sand. Brooker, Gans, Nail. Nel goes like hopefully his teammate can get a good result. So Nail is not having the best race this evening. Hannes van der Sand Hopefully I can have a race next week. I'll try to send you to the Sharon realm at Nail. So these boys are having a bit of a chat and banter on the stream. Welcome, boys. Doesn't look like you had a great race, in all fairness, and no, it really doesn't look that well. 46 incidents in race 2. We definitely got to cap that. That's for sure. I'm all good for good racing and clean racing, but I'm definitely not an individual that enjoys watching a racing scenario when we have more incidents within first 20 minutes. And if I say more incidents, that's a lot. 49 incidents within the first 20 minutes of racing. That is astounding. Something's gone awfully wrong if we're going to go down that direction. So we've got to clean that up as quickly as possible. Nip it and close it off, because that certainly cannot continue. Ooh, Lockley on the other hand gets a 30-second stop-go penalty. Now he has probably ventured into the pits and coming out of it, so that is for speeding in the pit lane. That is going to deter his race going forward. He's not going to end off where he would have wanted to be. Bauer on the other hand has got Van Beek now, so this has now become a three-way battle. Van Beek, Bauer and Findlay, Hall and Loureiro, as well as Neville. Again, 3 LTR boys in the top 3. Currently, again, they still have to do 2 pit stops, but this is a good show for them. Like, in all fairness, all 3 boys, top 3 at the present moment. 30 minutes left to go. Anything can happen. Our under severe pressure there by Van Beek. Must have made a slight error in one of the corners, because Findlay has created a gap. Findlay back into the pits now. Bauer is a bit unsettled. You can see he's not happy with that Ferrari going into the final corner. Right on his rear end is Humphries. It looks like Van Beek will take the position. Bauer didn't go awfully too defensive. Again, thinking long term probably. Long term is where we are going with. Even though it's still 30 minutes of racing, the last thing you want to do is lose too many positions by fighting other individuals. Considering that you still have to do another pit stop. Humphries there in the Lambo. He's currently in 10th at the moment. Freedom. Everything. There we go. Freedom in 9th. He's hunting down Van Zyl, so he did and made a move on Van Zyl. Yeah, he's hunting down the Lamborghini ahead of him, which is Humphries here. Again, Humphries hasn't done a pit stop. So leader by pit stops at this stage is Stradom, Mooney, Penter, Yaval, Spindley, and then of course Dupria, and then Null fits in there just as well. So those are the boys that have done their first pit stop. Still another one to do. Dave Young, on the other hand, has finished his pit stops.
We are halfway through. Keep it
So
up.
him and Greening, who is currently in 17th position, have filtered through, finished their 2 pit stops, and are done and dusted at the moment. All they need to do is finish the race. So looking good for these individuals. That does include Heineke, Leroux, Van der Haar there at the bottom in 27th position, and then of course C. Mooney in 28th. So six drivers done all 2 pit stops. 26 minutes to go, just past the halfway mark. Plenty of racing still ongoing. front of the grid, however, with the LTR boys, they haven't jumped into the pits at all. I do wonder what their strategy is. Because everyone's running something differently to each other. Humphrey in the pit. Grid has spread out quite a bit. Here at the back of the race in 28th position we have Mooney versus Vermeulen. Even though it is 4th position, Vermeulen has to still go back to the pit stop, so see Mooney has a bit of an advantage, and I don't think he would want to give that up to lose more time. However, as I said, it is a 25-minute race still to go. Anything's possible, so focus is to get it done and dusted. Van der Haar went off track. He has had a big spin and is still waiting to go back on track again. That's good driving etiquette. Herzeg with, I still believe, one of the best liveries that on track. I love that mix of colors. It's just so wild, so bold. Such a statement. Van der Berg. This is Space Motorsport versus LTR Chic. Big accident ahead of them. Ooh. What has occurred there? It wasn't Bauer though. There was 2 boys that made contact. Again, I'm calling them boys. Car 16 and car 90. 16 and 90. Ever been Steenkamp? Steenkamp on an incident there with not 100% sure who. Steenkamp involved. Van Zyl and Mooney. Mooney phenomenally quick this evening. He's already created a 7-second gap between himself and Paul Fenton. That's a drive. Flip Van Zyl under a bit of pressure. Bauer drive-through penalty again. Self-inflicted. That's pit stop related for sure. From a driver's perspective, I reckon Mooney is potentially up there for driver of the day. He's made so many moves this evening. From the back of the grid, another position gain as he works his way through what he potentially would call traffic. It's like he just cannot put a foot wrong. Mooney. One more spot for him. Now, of course, he is chasing down Sean Stradle. These 2 boys are definitely working very hard. Dylan Hall, on the other hand, in the pits. Jumped into it. Got that done from Bake. Hasn't gone to the pit. Lorero still. Lorero dropped. Something has happened. Few positions has changed and I don't know how that has occurred. The Lorero has dropped 3 positions. Car 23. What has happened here? I'm gonna go and do a bit of investigation here. See what I can find. Car 23. 1690, car 20, car 20. do not see car 23 being in the pits, nor do I see him actually had an incident. Let's just make double sure whether he's gone to the pit stop. According to this, he has. Oh wait, I'm looking at Mooney. So Laredo. Does say it has done a pit count, but it didn't recognize him. So what has gone wrong? And it opens up the gap for Mooney. Of course, Van Wyk, leader of the race at the moment. He is the man everyone's hunting down. Okay, so Laredo is in the pits again. Based on my delta and my timing sheet, this is the second pit stop for him. He's out now, and that pit stop did count. I am very uncertain what has happened, but it doesn't seem like this has gone the way he would have planned. Dylan Hall, on the other hand, where did he filter out? He's back in the pits again. Mouton battling out with Herzeg in front of him, Greening behind him, all in the pits. Ooh, Don going wide, that opened the door for Greening. That was an easy maneuver there. And potential wise decision. Let's not fight those that we do not need to fight. 20 minutes of racing still to go. A lot of shuffling is going to happen, so I apologize to everyone. This is hard for me to keep track at the present moment where everyone sits and where everyone does not sit. According to my record, Van Zyl is back in the pits. Van Wyk is still leading the race. Straydom is hunting down Van Wyk. Mooney is hunting down Straydom. Allventer has fallen back a bit to Mooney. And then of course Dupree, who started in first place, is now in fifth, with Vincent Nel, the man that won the Kailami last week, is currently in sixth. He still needs to do a pit stop, but he's in his own element here, not really being chased down by Naval. Loureiro, on the other hand, according to my delta, has done 2 pit stops. He's backing doing another one. Paul has done his 2 pit stops. And he has currently filtered into 20 seconds. Now, of course, plenty of things can still occur. I don't think he's going to make up that much time, because there's not that many individuals ahead of him that has not put. This is how interesting it is. Even with a reverse grid setup point of view, you will only finish as quick as what you are on the day. At some other point, those that are quicker than you will get ahead of you. Again, if you have to calculate it, guys like Mooney, who's currently doing low 55 versus anyone that's doing a 56.4 or 56.5, that is a 1.5 second deficit per lap. So even though you have had potentially a 20-second head start, and unless you drive the rubber off those tires, you are going to be caught. Of course, he still needs to do a pit stop. I reckon he's probably the man that is up for a podium along with Sean Straydom. I think B. Nell, who won Kailami last week, still a mountain to climb for him to get anywhere near that. He's about 16 seconds adrift from Paul Venter at the current stage, and he's got traffic to work with, so not ideal circumstances for him. Now all again in the traffic, we have lots of individuals fighting. This is all for positions. We have Mooney, Vermeulen, Robson, and everyone here wants that spot. And then you have Nal sitting behind them going, I need to get moving, but there is 4 places up for the battle there. Wilfred Robson versus Jacques Vermeulen, and then of course C. Mooney in the mix. Boys, do not want to let it go. Plenty of driving still going on. Oh, Kanda asking for a lot of questions. So, what do the pink and green little blocks mean next to the corner? That is by straight wording by Nel Bullion. Number of pit stops. So every race has got its set pit stops. Some individuals will set the track to pit stop requirements. That is a mandatory requirement to do. Once it goes green, it identifies that you do not need to pit stop anymore. That being said, race at the front of the grid still ongoing. Straight on, still the leader. Less than 15 minutes to go. Mooney hunting him down second by second. Venter on the other hand quite comfortable where he is. Working it on relative stations. Oh, plenty. Has just passed the back mark, so he's got clear air to go and filter to get on that rear end off straight on. Paul Venter has got to go through 2 back markers. Dylan Hall still there in 20th position, 22nd. On sale in 7th. Battles at the back of the grid. Still have Sabata, Luck. Ooh, Sabata making a big fumble there. Ooh, that's just gonna hurt that BMW. Definitely not what he would have wanted. Opens up the door for everyone behind him to take those positions. That BMW is going to be slow now. Will have some aero damage. Whether he chooses to go and fix it, that is up to him. Yeah, he runs into the pits. He knows that's going to hurt him. Level, yeah. LCRC. He is on the rear end of greening Ferrari car 25. Looking for gaps. Mouton stepping out of the pit with a stop code 30-second penalty. That's a race-ending penalty. Still going to go self-inflicted. Steve Young not far from these 2 boys. Oh, big slide there by Neville. Manages to catch it though. Mooney is the current leader. Straight on. Has done the pit stop. His rear end is Vermeulen. That is going to be any challenge. These boys will allow him to continue the race. current leader by pit stops at this stage is Stradom and Venter. I reckon Mooney is going to go into the pits and probably snap that away from Stradom. I could be completely wrong. Flip from Cell, on the other hand, still needs to do a pit stop. So there's only 3 guys on the track at the moment. Just make 100% sure that has not done a pit stop. Well, and Vermeulen. So 4 in total hasn't. Still needs to do that one final pit stop before we finish off this race with 11 minutes to go. Don there serving his stop for 30-second penalty. That's going to drop him all the way back. Meaning and Neville fighting it out still. That's not gone any way differently. And then of course Van der Berg and LaRue. Del Van der Berg and Pace Motorsports is the man in 10th place. And to fend off LaRue there with the Aston Martin, who is being hunted down there by Laredo and of course Wilson. Humphries in 14th, Heineke in 15th, and then of course got Bentley, Bauer, Greer, Wolford, and then Herceg closing off the top 20. Onto the grid, still Mooney and Van Zyl that needs to do their final pit stops as we head into the closing 10 minutes of the race. Track temperature has gone down by about 2 degrees, still optimum, still no rain, so it's quite good for everyone on track. I have to come down with a bit of rain, it will just deter most individuals, because I don't even believe from a setup point of view they have considered any rain for this evening. Tyler is flying, so you're gonna have to help me there, Cans, who's Tyler. Unless I can pick it up by his name. Tyler Humphries. Okay, got it. You are correct. If you are here to support someone, I will go and show him. He is moving though. He is on the move. On the rear end of A. Wilson. That's deep. That was close. That was very, very close. Touch and go there. Humphries dived out of the way just to avoid contact. No two ways about that. Phenomenal driving. But now he's got to make up what he has lost. I reckon he's lost. At least he hasn't lost the position. Heineke is quite a bit away from him. So Wilson will be under pressure very soon. Let's look at the timing scale. So Wilson's doing 57.8 at the moment, whereas Humphries are doing 56.8. So Humphries does seem to be 1 second quicker than Wilson. Still has not bitten, nor has Van Zyl, nor has Vermeulen. These two gentlemen still battling it out. That's all you have to do at Nürburgring. Like, in reality, just ensure that you maintain your track position, focus on the racing line, because you don't really have to do that much defending if you maintain a good driving standard throughout the track. Now, if you do make a little mistake here, through there by Michael Schumacher S's and so forth, that those are speeds going up the hill, then yes, it will allow the individual behind you to capitalize on it. But a bit of smart driving will get you quite far back into, yeah, between Kel van der Berg and of course LaRue. BMW versus Aston Martin. LaRue quite aggressive, just not managing to find the gap. Again, Van der Berg driving sensible, going a bit defensive as they go down the line. And closes the door a bit for LaRue, forces him to go wide. Now, of course, Van der Berg takes a bit of racing line with him, just to make sure he gets his brake marker right. Goes in deep and wide, but maintains to hold track position. And this is all you have to do. Ooh, LaRue going in there for a late dive. Well spotted there by Van der Berg. Does LaRue have the legs to go and around the outside here? That's too close. It's just nail biting. I'm literally biting my nails at this moment, going, ooh, that's close. Ooh, that's tight. Ooh, not now. LaRue definitely has the pace. He needs to get away because he's got Lorero about it. This is the three-way battle for 10th position. Can you believe it? Three big names in the mix here, wanting that 10th spot so badly. Mooney, on the other hand, has done his final pit stop. He is ahead of Stradom. Is he 27 seconds ahead of Stradom? No, that's not true. Okay, so Delta will filter it out. Mooney's gone into the pits. He will be in second position at the moment. Quite close to Stradom. So these two boys are battling it out. They have filtered it out. So this is for the win. 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes of racing to go. Stradom ahead of Mooney by 0.4 of a second. This is gonna be tight. Two big guns here fighting it out for the victory. Mansell, final man in the pits. Jacques Vermeulen hasn't done his final pit stop. Not as yet. And there is a bit of traffic here and there. Jay Luck ahead of Stradom. And of course, right behind Mooney is Vermeulen and Robson. Also fighting their own race. This is going to get interesting. Luck made a big position. Stradom slash. Stradom knows he needs to get away from Mooney. If he loses speed coming down the straight, Mooney is going to capitalize on him. Stradom flashing viciously. Mooney wants it. Stradom wants to get away. Oh, that gives the inside line for Mooney. Mooney takes it though. That's racing line position. Brilliant drive by Mooney there. Tight. Ah! Stradom loses that spot based on traffic. There's no ways to describe it, but he certainly did not win out of that. Luck was just ahead of him. Now he moves away. Still open the gap. Now Stradom needs to go and chase him down. That is just absolutely unfortunate. I reckon that's still going to continue as we go forth. Kel van der Berg, LaRue and Lorero, these three boys are still fighting it out. Wilson and Humphries battling it out for position 2. And of course we got Hall and Luck. That's why they were so hesitant to move away, because there's a battle going on. Both Hall and Luck trying to fight it out for that last 20th spot. Of course, Paul that started in second position, currently in 20th, making a move there on a blue flag driver, creating a bit of gap between himself and luck. And 2 minutes of racing left. Mooney and Stradom on the other hand. These boys haven't given up yet. This is definitely one more final lap for them. And then we will be at the end of the race.
Leader is on the final lap. Give it a
Final lap. Everyone now needs to go guns blazing. Kel van der Berg has managed to fend off LaRue and Laredo till thus far. Van Sail and Dupree, two boys battling here at the back. Humphries has passed Wilson. I did miss that, so Humphries has made up a position. It did look like he was the faster man. We didn't calculate that before. He was running 1 second quicker than what Wilson was, so one more position gain. Mooney, on the other hand, setting the fastest lap of the race once again on the previous one with the best first, second and third sector. Now that is a phenomenal stint from the man that I do not recall raced last week. If he did, I probably missed him. He is certainly back in the mix. Started way at the back of the grid, fought his way through most of the individuals, probably did the most passes than any other driver on track this evening. And has managed to capitalize on Stradom's, I won't say mishap, but unfortunate event with a blue flag driver ahead of him, who was battling a driver ahead of him. So again, the focus is zoned in front of you, not necessarily behind you. Just absolutely, that's racing, that's part of racing. Ooh, it does look like Stradom made a big mistake there, went deeply wide though. Nonetheless, brings it back in, going around the final corner. Mooney from Simracing Masterclass takes the victory for race number 2, followed by Stradom, who fought tooth and nail for that. Paul Venter, on the other hand, he is on the final few corners. He's going to take third place position as he filtered into the final corner of Nürburgring. And then not far from him is Van Beek, followed by Nel. So Nel has gained a bit, but not enough for him to get into that podium position. So 5th place for Nel. 11 seconds adrift. There is Naval from LTR Chic Racing Boys. And then of course we have Greening in 9th, Dave Young in 10th, and then Kel van der Berg in 9th, with Pace Motorsport, LaRue, Laredo and Humphries in 12th. And again, that was a phenomenal drive. 15th there by Wilson. Heineke not far off it. He's still battling with Findlay, who takes the checkered flag for 15th, Bauer in 16th, Van Sail, and then of course Dupree 16th and 17th, and then everyone else apart from that has finished their race. I reckon that was an absolute phenomenal drive by everyone. Quite adventurous, in all fairness. I don't know why we do these things. Like, first grid position is an absolute chaos scenario, but I reckon potentially great fun for those timetables from a racing standpoint. This is the final grid as discussed. Mooney from Simracing Masterclass taking the victory this evening, followed by Stradom, Venter, Van Beek, Neville, Greening, Young, Van der Berg, and then of course rounding up the top 10, LaRue. I think phenomenal race this weekend. Next weekend is yet another adventure. For those on the stream, I thank you for all your support. Good to meet you if I haven't spoken to you or seen you here before. Welcome to the LNR Simracing community. Tuesday night next week, same time, same place. Catch you then. From my end, have a good night. Good night. God bless. Goodbye.